In ancient times, societies worshipped deities and formed religions. From these beliefs came a sense of identity and pride. This phenomenon led to rivalry and bloodshed between rival religious groups and cultural groups. As society has progressed, heroes, gods, and worship have shifted to the world of sport. In many ways, sport represents many aspects of ancient societies that now play out on the field of play rather than the field of battle. Hockey in particular is a fascinating example of how what is essentially a game has taken on a level of importance that rivals that which is put upon religion, regional rivalry, and nationalism.
Many characteristics of not only the National Hockey League, but all major North American sport leagues include aspects of the sport that are ceremonial. For the NHL, this includes the singing of the national anthem of the countries which the teams represent. There are other rituals to the sport, such as the ceremonial dropping of the puck. Perhaps the most jarring ceremony that draws religious parallels is the presentation of Lord Stanley's Cup. The entire NHL season revolves around the winner of the playoffs being presented with the Stanley Cup as a symbol of their achievement. Winners of the cup hold it, touch it, and kiss it. Clearly, this trophy is worth more than the 35 pounds of silver and nickel that the trophy is actually made of. Both players and fans are fascinated by the trophy and wanted to interact with it because it is rare and denotes power, success, and victory. Such treatment of an inanimate object is reminiscent of ancient Roman and Greek religions, in which idols were venerated in much the same way as the Stanley Cup is today. Clearly, the connection lies in the fact that both idols and the Stanley Cup represent something that is to be cherished. Idols representing the Greek or Roman gods, and the Stanley Cup represents the pinnacle of hockey itself. When examining the sport myth and how it relates to hockey and religion, it is important to not only identify similarities, but to identify why hockey in Canada has become such a central part of culture. In every big city and small town, there's at least one hockey rink, which acts as a place of congregation for young players, parents, and all hockey fans to celebrate the sport at a grassroots level. Many religions congregate to celebrate their beliefs and meet and spend time with peers. Hockey rinks serve the same function, perhaps more prevalently than do churches. Hockey lovers meet with their peers to celebrate the game they love, as well as to socialize and connect with others.
Hockey is Canadian because it is Canada's own. It created it.
I think it's really ingrained in the culture here.
Every culture needs a focus. Every culture needs a set of expressions. Every culture needs a set of heroes. And for Canadians, hockey provides them that.
There's just so much heritage in this country with hockey that you can't get away from it.
Kids growing up with the game and continuing to play as adults. I mean, it really is in our blood, and I think that we define it well.
Okay, well, as a Canadian, in the international scene, the thing we're known for most is hockey, and the fact that we're really good at it, and that's what we can really be known for, is something that I take great pride in. The 2010 Olympics, the fact that we won the gold in our home turf, I mean that means everything to us as a country, and it really builds up our national pride and our esteem.
So yeah, because hockey is Canada's national sport, it's our national export to the world, and I think nothing better than being Canadian and cheering for hockey.
I don't think I would even think much about being a proud Canadian if hockey wasn't such a vital part of our culture.
There's a lot of other things about Canada that is really good rather than just our hockey. I mean, we have a great economy, we have equal rights, we're better off than most countries of the world. But I mean, hockey is just that extra factor that makes it, gives us some bragging rights in the international scene.
So what is hockey? A game played on ice between two teams passing a rubber disc with curved sticks, trying to get it inside a 6x4 foot space. It's understandable that sports are competitive for the players, since there is a need for people to naturally want to outperform others. But what makes up all the strong emotions reflected in the spectators, those that aren't even playing? The myth created by sports is that people project their need to outperform others onto the team of their choosing. This is the basis for what has become a regional rivalry. Well, I am a Habs fan, and being one of the biggest markets, I've actually seen it happen quite a bit since I lived in the Toronto area, and I've seen physical and verbal disputes amongst the rivals, like especially the Leafs. And so yeah, I do get offended because I just feel a social need to defend the honor of my favorite team.
If they're right, then I'll get offended, but if they're not, then I'll just throw it back in their face and tell them their team is worse.
I would be even more offended since the level of pride I have would probably escalate to a higher level.
Yeah, because in that case, they'd most definitely be out of their minds, and they're obviously just talking smack. So yeah, they're nuts. There's no point talking to someone like that.
Of course I would, but then I just talk smack back, and then really no one else can mount an argument besides the Russians. But we smoked them in '72 and '87 and 2010. Probably a bunch of years I already forgot.
It's the little kid that has dreams of the NHL. It's these young men that they've got that goal in mind. It's getting to be the best for a moment, even if it's just sort of within your mind and in your memory. It's the spirit.